swag. First step, let's go. Number 4, pit in the box. Party started, watch him ride.
So today we'll be talking about Saturday Night Fever. It felt kind of natural for us to do it at some point because it's such a hyper local movie for us. I mean, they shot right in our neighborhood, and it's
Bensonhurst.
In Bensonhurst and Bay Ridge, and so it's a very important film. But that's what I want to get to. So this movie has obviously it predates me 30 years, but I never quite understood the impact of it, meaning that it's so highly regarded and so popular and so important. But when I watched it, I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. But why is it so important?
It was the Italian American, whoever settled in Bensonhurst, Gravesend from the early 1900s. It was the culmination, the 1970s, culmination of the working class man, the son not knowing what to do. He works in a paint store, but he feels glorified at night because he's a great dancer. And that basically explains it. And it kind of changes his life in a way to where he wants better for himself, which staying alive was horrible when he moves to Manhattan. The second
sequel,
movie, it's terrible. But that's why I think the Italian Americans took to it. And as far as the immigrant story, you could tell that they were probably second generation or first generation immigrants.
Which kind of reflected the time.
Exactly. And when you're talking about immigrants, it doesn't just affect Italians, it was everybody, because dancing's universal. And it was one of the local big clubs, the Odyssey 2001, 2001 Space Odyssey, but that's probably where they got it. But, that's where it comes from. And
so it's like the subtext of the story itself.
I mean, and it touches upon racism, it touches upon the working class man, touches upon being Italian. There were a bunch of different things, mental illness. Bobby C. was the guy that jumped off the bridge. Pressure, there was a lot of pressure on people. And Tony Manero's way of expressing his pressure was dancing, and he was the best dancer.
And so in a way, it's you can't really watch it just once, and not that, because it is. I feel like if you view it just as a dancing movie, and like it's very entertaining. It's I always say this is probably the best opening 30 minutes of a movie ever made. And just if it ended at 30 minutes, it's one of the great films.
And just think of the music.
And the music too. So that's what it is. So it's the music and the subtext of it.
There was an equal array of greatness.
Of talent.
And again, that wasn't a high budget movie at the
time.
No. Pretty low. Not low, but it was Hollywood, but it wasn't like high end. And the movie did amazing. It's still making money.
Okay, so that answers my question about it. Because I was just always confused by, because honestly, as I've watched it, I probably saw it 10 years ago. So I was a pirated movie. I pirated it on my laptop. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't just rent the thing and pay my parents the $3. But I did that, and I didn't get it. But I was also just too young for it, I guess, in a way. But as I've watched it, like the rest of like I always say, the first 30 minutes are unbelievable. But as I've watched it more and more, I appreciate the rest of the movie as it goes along. So that's interesting that that it's subtext. The subtext of it makes it.
But when you watch it the second and third time, then there's a plight. Everybody has a plight. Everybody wants to up their status, and his was dancing. I don't think it worked out. Like I said, he becomes like a ballerina, which I don't understand. He was the most macho thing, and then it went to
ballerina.
But that's kind of what the ending of Tony Manero,
Do you remember the first time watching it?
I don't.
It was, but when you were a kid, though. Were you like 5 years old?
I probably was. It was on TV. I'm pretty sure, because my mother wouldn't have took us to the movies, or we rented it, one or the other, on VCR. But I was probably 9 or 10, and I remember the feeling. I remember at that age, I was sad because I remember at the end where they're sitting, and she's sitting in the window, or he's sitting in the window.
Yeah,
and they don't know the destiny. And when you're a kid, and that affected you, obviously it was like a carnal effect to the person, the human. Because I was a kid, I really didn't understand life yet, but it was something powerful that I remember. It brought sadness, I remember, for some reason.
And do you remember other people talking about the film and its importance around Because I mean, it had
I
to
mean,
because it's shot in the area. It takes place in the area.
86th Street. That was like, you know, he ate at famous Lenny's Pizza, and that was that era. It was a little later on where it became more, where the cars went up and down 86th Street and with the radios, cuisines. But this was pre that, and that generation set the boundaries for the next generation, and that was the guys driving up and down 86th Street. So there was like a bravado type of essence in our neighborhood, who had the better car, who had the better jewelry, you know.
An interesting thing, though, about it is if you ask anybody, mostly women that I've asked the question about, because I think I've asked the question a few times before about the meaning of the movie and why is it so important, and it's the perfect metaphor for a big fish in a small pond, that he was the best here and then he made it to Manhattan. And that it's a real, I wouldn't say character arc, because he doesn't really, he learns a little bit in the end, but Monero doesn't really quite completely grow, but it is a good, it has the essence of that. You want to talk about Travolta for a little bit?
I mean,
I wish he did. This is his best performance, right?
Out of everything, this and then Blowout,
which we'll talk about later.
Right. But I can't. The Quentin Tarantino movie, he was all right in that.
Pulp Fiction, yeah, he was good. He was good in that.
But again, he can never out. That's what happens. Sometimes you pigeon. He still got the work in Hollywood. But as far as feeling like you did a better job, Face Off was good.
It's fun, fun movie.
Like he did his acting skills, and you know another one I liked, the one with Robert De Niro in The Woods, where he plays a Russian guy.
Oh,
can't think of the name. But that was he was all right. When he acts, he's not bad. But when he's that actor that stays in the middle, he's not good.
He's like the poster boy of poor taste in Hollywood. It's him and a couple others, but he's like the main.
He did the
culprit
Gotti movie.
Yeah, that was horrible.
He was the worst Gotti. Come on.
I don't know why they'd let him do that, and
made no sense. He was a full foot taller than John Gotti. I don't even understand it.
I'll tell you, me and my friend Francesco, we watched Gotti one night. We loved watching bad movies and just laughing.
Right.
But we put on Gotti and we thought we were plucking our eyes out. That was one of the worst movies ever made.
Ever. I mean, if he was a foot shorter, he would have been better than what this was.
Well, he was also
John
20
Gotti,
years too old.
That too, but the idea of John Gotti was he was a little guy with a lot of power.
Like a Napoleonic complex.
Right.
Yeah.
This guy was not that. He was not that.
All right, let's get back to Saturday Night Fever. What's your favorite scene?
My favorite scene, for the whole movie, was the family part where he's at the table.
Yeah, that's a great one. Would you just watch the hair? I've worked on my hair a long time.
He touched my hair.
He hits my hair.
Great line in the movie. Great line. Never heard anything like that.
And then the mothers, every not even stereotype, that's just true. The parents they got were completely right. There's always an unemployed, the father just got laid off,
right.
He's better at the world. The mother's got a son that's not home. There's always the son that stays, and there's always the son that leaves, and they love the son that leaves more.
And he's a priest.
And he's a priest
on top of that. Forget it, in the Catholic household.
And then the grandmother might be the best part when she goes, "Basta, manja, manja."
Yeah.
She's so funny. And then, because you said the diner scene, I'll add the first disco scene, the first club scene.
I mean, I consider that
because it's that part of that 30 minutes.
But the acting part of it,
it's perfect.
That was great.
It's like a perfect scene.
But the dancing part, that was the best.
And that was great too, because one, it showcased his talent of dancing.
Yep.
Apparently put in a lot of hard work to dance. They wanted to put a stunt double, and Travolta was like, "No, I'm doing this." So, but also, like my dad always says this whenever we're watching it, is you could just see how much of a good time these people are having dancing, and like it fades, like the ending of that first act, it fades into him having a hangover in bed, and he goes, Al Pacino when he does that, but. These people just had a great time letting loose and being fools.
Well, again, they didn't have much.
Yeah.
So that to them was
it.
gold. you know. And again, they had the girls there, and Annette, the lady Stephanie that he ends up dancing with. That's where they meet them. Where else are they going to meet them?
Yeah.
You know, the next generation had 86th Street. But
And that's where he met people.
until that time, it was the discos, like Funhouse, there's a bunch of them. But
And right in Bay Ridge, you don't have to leave the city. You don't have to leave the neighborhood.
That was
Not
a great part of
the
it.
South Brooklyn.
That was on 62nd. That was right here in Brooklyn. I don't know. Is that considered Bensonhurst?
Probably like Midwoodish or
No, it's closer to us.
yeah. Okay. And then I also have the diner scene when I guess it's his first date with Stephanie, and they're at a luncheonette on Fifth Avenue, and she asks him, "Did you go to college? Did you think about going to college?" He goes, "What? Did you?" She goes, "No. Then what you fucking bother me about it for?" And he's got a mouthful of cheeseburgers.
Yeah. She caught him off guard with that one.
Oh, that's funny. And then that also just explains how bad Stephanie is in that, and she's probably like a notoriously bad casting.
She's the worst type. She's a narcissist.
Yeah, and I think you're not. I don't know if you're supposed to like her. Like they probably thought of it in a different way, but it's kind of like a charm of the movie. That
As
you're
a
not
kid, I
supposed to
thought
like.
she was pretty. Like
Yeah.
when I was that 9-year-old kid, I was like, she's pretty.
But she
she
can't
had
dance.
no character. I liked Annette better.
Yeah, and that was way more
So
deep.
cool, like, you know what I'm saying? But too bad she didn't dance like her. You know what I mean? Because that would have been a nice match.
What's your favorite line?
My hair. He hit my hair. That stayed with me for my whole life. Because I'm a guy that uses gel because I got to do cover-ups over here. So when somebody hits my hair, I say, you hit my hair. Just like Travolta did.
I have two. So when I watched it last night, I didn't catch the first 30 times, but when they're walking, again in that first 30 minutes, they're walking into the club, and one of them's being a fool, and Monero goes, "Chill out, we're the faces."
That's old school.
That's so fucking funny. And then after he gets the promotion, not the promotion, he gets he gets a promotion, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
He gets a raise of, what was it, like $2.50 an hour. He settles from 40 cents to $2.50.
Yeah.
And he tells his parents, and the father's like, "Well, that's it?" Like, such
Yeah.
a dick. And then he goes,
He had nothing to look forward to.
he goes, "You know, whenever, how does this start? You know, the only time people have told me I've done good? Twice. 2 fucking times. Here today and dancing at the disco."
That's it.
Favorite side character?
What did I say his name was?
Bobby C.
Bobby C.
Yeah, he is such a...
He did some great acting in that.
He did, and it's kind of like, not so bad it's good, but it's like,
Real.
that person exists.
Right, real, it felt like.
Yeah, and and he's almost like, if you're going to a 70s themed party, he is. Like,
That
you're
guy,
wearing
right,
his costume.
right.
Like, he had...
10 years later, they were medicating everybody
Like that.
like that.
Yeah.
And he would have been he was all amped up, you know,
Yeah.
and he had mental illness.
He had like high heels on. I don't even know. Those aren't boots. Those are high heels.
He had the scarpa bells.
And then Father Frank Jr. is really really
He's a
great
character.
because he's almost like the cousin. Obviously, he's Tony's brother in the film, but like he's almost like the cousin visiting from
Yeah,
outside,
yeah,
and he's
yeah,
staying
yeah.
in his room, and
Like
he takes
he's the
him
outsider,
out.
right.
And he's also just a great. Like if for people who want to be priests, you guys should look at
Well,
Father Frank Jr.
it represented a lot of the Italians were ultra religious, and one of the goals was to have a child become a nun or a priest. And you know, I think that's why they put that in there, because that was
Or to separate the brothers so much. You have to, in a way.
yeah.
Or that was
yeah.
their goal.
But what I'm trying to say is that was the ultimate for a family, an immigrant family that came to America.
Yeah.
So one son becomes a priest, one son becomes a lawyer or a doctor, you know, which Tony didn't become either one.
Here's a fun little bit. What's your favorite old Brooklyn landmark? So you mentioned Lenny's Pizza. Rest in peace. I think it closed. They closed. They didn't go bankruptcy.
Yeah,
they
closed.
chose to close 3 years ago. A lot of great memories in that place. Great food.
Good
I
pizza.
really. And then
pizza.
you always got a sense of the movie whenever you were walking by there
Yeah.
or whenever you were in there.
We vibed it.
And it was a real landmark. You have any other ones?
I mean, there's so many in Brooklyn. The Verrazano Bridge, the shot, that shot that told the world how nice that is. And at that time, it was probably more.
Nobody probably even knew about the Verrazano Bridge in a weird
But that
way.
spot, I've been there a few times.
It's a
great spot. It's like you just sit there and you hear the cars.
Very underrated.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody none of these the yuppies take it over. Hopefully they don't pick it up.
I don't think they did. I don't think they did.
This is kind of a not a blink if you'll miss it, but Kelly's Tavern. You can see it in the background of when they're walking to. I think they're walking out of White Castle, which is a big laundromat now.
Right.
But they're walking out of White Castle, and you can see Kelly's, and Kelly's is still up and running. Still a great bar to go to. I love going there. It's the only place open late in Bay Ridge still.
I don't remember that actually, but
so
that's cool.
I remember, after the 25th time watching, I said, "Oh shit, Kelly's is there. You could, it's still there. That's great."
Yeah. I mean, the club was a club. Like I remember, it went a certain way, and then it changed to like house music again, or disco. Not disco, but house music. Then there was one side with rock. Mm-hmm. So they made it where
it went with the times.
Yeah.
And then when did it officially close?
I think 2012.
Oh wow! So it had
a history, yeah. I think it's 12.
Yeah.
Could be a little bit before then, but they demolished the building now.
Yeah, and this isn't a landmark, but the Monero House is.
Who was that?
That is on like 4th Avenue, between 4th and 5th, I believe.
Okay.
And like my friend's house is like a dead ringer for the inside of that. The weight in Bay Ridge specifically, it's like a way too big. Like the ceilings are very big. The stairs are in a weird place.
Right.
It's almost.
They were nice.
It's great that they got that. It's great that they showed that. They didn't just shoot it in Silver Cup. They didn't shoot it in a studio. They got someone's house.
Again, that was the time period we were talking about with The Godfather, with all those movies that were done in the 70s. They had a different vibe.
It was authentic. They wanted authenticity.
That was it. That's what the people wanted. It's kind of similar to right now with social media, how people want authenticity. Mm-hmm. They want in the now, the one shot, the whatever's going to happen.
They see too much bullshit.
See, and I'm gonna tell people, when you edit, you affect. Mm-hmm. So when you don't affect, you get more, I think.
Mm-hmm. That's true. What's your favorite Travolta movie? I would honestly just say this movie, but to answer the question, obviously Pulp Fiction is a classic. There's literally nothing to say about Pulp Fiction that hasn't already been said, but
and he dances in that too.
And he dances in that too.
He was good in that.
But Blowout's probably like the last movie where he really shined, where he was his. Not the last movie, but it's one of the notable ones of his career.
His acting chops were fresh. He just got done doing Saturday Night, or maybe was going to do. Or
it was right after It was right before Staying Alive. So it was like in a weird. He was in the prime. Let's just say.
See, he's one of those actors that he pigeonholed himself. He did that.
He was too good at one thing. He was too great at it, and then nobody wanted to see him in anything else.
Yeah, and that was the problem,
But Blowout's a great film, and it's like we were talking about earlier. It's got all these
but it was
little
overlooked
elements
because of Saturday Night Fever, and that was acting-wise, he killed that.
Yeah,
he killed that.
Yeah, as I think he was an editor, a film editor,
a sound editor,
and sound. So, and just the scene where he obviously this is Brian De Palma's genius too, but like the scene where he takes the magazine clippings and puts them into celluloid and makes a film out of it.
Yes.
He's perfect in it, and he's smoking a cigarette in fire hazard conditions. Beast.
But again, he's not going to do that. Like after that, the closest thing was Pulp Fiction, and that was it. It was more comedy oriented, not serious. His serious acting, Face Off. You had those commercial 80s.
He was funny. He was fun. It was
all right.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah, and they would Get Shorty. He had a hard time coming back from that. Mm-hmm. That's true. That's it.
What is your other favorite film shot in Brooklyn? So, like we talked about Goodfellas. We've talked about The Godfather was shot in a neighborhood.
The Warriors,
right? Was it all on Coney Island?
No, it was the Bronx. It was on the trains. Like that. Again, it was authenticity. It was guerrilla filmmaking. That's what it was, and it worked. That scene. There's a scene in the park. unbelievable, you know, to get that done. I think they used real people too, real gangs.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, they had to.
Yeah.
Then they had to pay him off.
We'll talk about that.
For me, I'd have to say French Connection is a really great. It's a perfect. We talked about this in Rocky, but like seasonal movies, it's a perfect cold winter movie.
Yeah.
It gets the whole spectrum of
That
the
was
city.
Popeye Doyle.
Popeye Doyle,
Yeah.
yeah, with Gene Hackman and
Yeah.
Roy Scheider.
See, with me, I like the movie a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that always bothered me was the chase scene.
Well, it's not logical. So the chase scene happened down the block from our house.
Exactly.
And the funny thing is, the stop is probably 20 seconds, but the film makes it 10 minutes to go from, what is it, the 25th to Bay Parkway?
They used the same footage. Yeah. They kept using the same footage.
It is great, though. The chase is great. It's just illogical.
Yeah, illogical.
But yeah, The French Connection, I highly recommend that movie. And then this is a little bonus question. How are you as a dancer?
I used to be all right.
You haven't done it in a little bit?
I mean, if I had to, I James Brown it a little bit. You know, you have to have a couple of get sauced up a little bit, but I could still do it.
I'd say I'm right in the middle. Here's my thing. If you're a guy and you're too good of a dancer, it looks like you took dancing lessons. But if you're a bad dancer, if you're really bad, people are like, oh, he's trying. So you got to be right in the middle.
No,
you can either be so bad.
You got to hit him with the, he doesn't know what he's doing.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
And then all of a sudden, hit him with the move. And then when you do it, then they're like, oh, he can dance, that guy. You know?
You have any final thoughts on Saturday Night Fever?
It was great for the times. Like, I was growing up at that time. I was probably, what year did that come out?
77.
So I was 4 years old. And then I probably saw it later on TV at 9. But from what I remember, the vibe, like usually a Hollywood production would be, it was kind of like Rocky, because a Hollywood production would miss those
certain
family
nuances.
moments. The family moments, number one, the friend moments. You can't just get that. You have to use people that know what friends are, at least in Brooklyn at that time.
And I bet, I haven't looked too into it, but I bet the actors were from the tri-state area, or like.
And I didn't look into it.
Yeah, I have to find that out, but like that's so authentic. I mean, Fran Drescher has a little cameo in it.
Yeah.
That great line.
I forget.
It's such a tongue twister. Are you as good in bed as you are on the dance floor?
Oh yeah.
And then he dances with her, and he goes, you must be one lousy fuck.
Yeah,
she can't dance.
He got roles after that. Hunter, he got after that. So.
But the film, to me, it's just it's very authentic, as you say. But you know, even me not coming from
That
those
time
times,
period, yeah.
it's still very relatable, because we have I know a bunch of people who are second generation Americans. Doesn't have to be Italian,
Right.
but it's just and you see the dynamics of the family, the grandmother still living in the house, and the roles the parents put on you, and just the expectations. Like, now, Monero probably didn't even know he wanted to be an artist, and he that was just his true talent.
Right.
And he just ended up doing it. So it's a great tale for that,
And
I'd say.
another thing that, and the sequel, Staying Alive, what it showed was how corny it went from the 1970s,
Yeah,
how
to the
macho,
80s.
to the 80s, how corny. And that's the truth.
But I really love this film. I probably watch it a couple times a year just
Do you?
yeah. I really enjoy it. It's also just fun seeing the area captured, because we don't see it around here in too many movies.
The music is great.
The music is great. It's still, Staying Alive has been parodied. Like the film has probably been parodied the most out of most films.
Diana liked him.
But that's just a compliment to its greatness, and we wish Staying Alive was a lot better.
And we wish more movies were made like Staying Alive, but
like Saturday Night Fever, not like Staying Alive.
I mean, like Saturday Night Fever. We wish more movies were made like Saturday Night Fever, but they're not doing it. We're not doing it.
Yeah, we're coming back though. We're making a comeback movies.
Hopefully,
I'd say.
Hopefully.
But Saturday Night Fever, great watch.
Great one. If you didn't see it, watch it.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
Love on the field, he's locked in that short. Quick hands, big arm, shutting down the sport. Lead off, hit the first pitch, he ain't playing. Step in the box, whole